The story opens on Second Lieutenant Lee, saluting his senior officer with a bright grin and heads off on leave. He crosses a bridge and he spots his girlfriend, advertising executive Kang Young, waiting for him. Before he can join her, one of his soldiers rouses him back to reality, duty calling. Lee and his platoon suit up and assemble at their post. Hidden from view, Lee calls Kang Young, asking, "Whose phone did you pick up yesterday?" Kang replies that it was her manager's number, since she had been very drunk last night. No sooner does Kang finish than she vomits, and at that moment Lee's senior catches him using his phone, which was against regulations. Lee's roommate is also caught dozing off on duty. Because of this, once their shift ends, Lee's entire team is punished. Each of them must run 100 laps around the helipad. When the punishment is over, Lee calls Kang Young again, but she doesn't pick up. Just then, his senior finds him and asks, "Does anyone here know how to cook?" Lee answers yes and follows the senior down to the mess hall. On their way, Lee glances through a window at another building and sees a bizarre sight. Some patients inside are behaving in a way that's completely unnatural. They are now moving toward the kitchen. Picking up the phone from a chef, Lee dials Kang Young without thinking, talking so fast that he doesn't even give her a chance to respond. Inside her office, Kang Young is having lunch, surrounded by co-workers who are making strange comments about her boyfriend. Feeling uncomfortable, Kang Young rises and storms out. That night, Lee calls Kang Young once more. This time, she angrily tells him, "I need a break from you." Lee assumes she's just fed up with his constant calls. Kang insists, "I really do need a break. You can't marry me for at least 2 years, and who knows what will happen to our relationship in 2 years." Hurt by her tone, Lee simply replies, "Whatever you think is best." Kang, already feeling down, sees her manager arrive to take her to a restaurant. As they talk on their way, Lee repeatedly calls Kang Young. She ignores him. Then she receives a voicemail from an unknown number. Kang Young goes into the restroom to hear it. It's Lee's message. He says, "I've just been thinking about myself. You have your own life, and you deserve to live it to the fullest. You'll be happier without me. That's why I'm breaking up with you now." Hearing this, Kang Young is completely shattered. She tries calling Lee back, but he's no longer answering. The manager leads Kang Young out of the restroom and says, "Kang, I'll never leave you." He's proposing, but Kang Young, still in shock, doesn't understand. Before she can respond, a man collided with their car, shattering the windshield. The impact threw the person inside their car. It was such a horrific accident that the man's eye was dislodged and landed on Kang's neck. Kang screamed when she realized she was holding the eye in her hand. Terrified, she nevertheless saw that the man was still alive. She asked the manager to help him, but the manager was frozen in shock. Kang rushed outside, calling for help from passersby, and spotted a famous actor named Young standing nearby. Young agreed to help, and together, he and Kang managed to pull the injured man from the wreckage. The man was breathing. Young tried to perform CPR, but blood gushed from the man's mouth. Young went over to check on the manager, asking if he was okay, but the manager was drenched in a cold sweat, paralyzed by fear. As they stood there, Kang spotted a truck barreling towards them from a distance, completely out of control. Luckily, it swerved at the last second, narrowly missing them, and crashed into a nearby store. Tragically, many people in the store were killed in that crash. Elsewhere, Lee and his team were in a conference inside a building. Suddenly, everyone in the building noticed a plane heading straight for them. They all braced for impact, thinking the plane would crash into the building. But just before impact, it veered away and crashed onto the road below. The plane crash caused a massive explosion, killing many more people. Witnessing the devastation, Lee told his sergeant they needed to go help. The sergeant agreed. Lee and his unit, along with the hotel manager who had been with them, took the elevator down to the accident site. They were horrified by what they saw. A grotesque, cannibalistic scene was unfolding. People were biting each other and were engulfed in unnatural flames. A similarly disfigured person shambles toward the elevator. Lee, his teammate, and the hotel manager immediately realized these people are no longer human. They're zombies. How this happened, no one knows. At first, Lee thinks he's dreaming, but then he sees a half-bodied figure lurching toward them, ready to attack. They dodge it and back away, but another zombie attacks them from the side. To defend themselves, the three of them grab a lighter and an oil spray and set it ablaze, burning the zombie to ashes. As they're doing this, the hotel manager's phone rings. A staff member calls to report that every floor below is overrun by zombies. Meanwhile, the man they rescued earlier, who they'd helped amid the crash, suddenly reverts into a zombie. Realizing the outbreak has spread throughout the city, they run into a nearby salon to escape. First, Kang Young calls her mother, telling her to stay home. Then she tries to call Lee, but Lee's phone is dead. She leaves a voicemail. When you get this message, contact me. Behind her, Lee and his friend are racing up to the 75th floor of the building, trying to escape the horde. They attempt to enter a room, but the woman inside mistakes them for zombies and won't open the door until Lee convinces her they're still human. She lets them in, and they join her inside. Upstairs, other soldiers are preparing to fight the zombies outside. On the other side, the manager, who is still on the street. A thief rushes up and tries to steal his phone and expensive watch. Just then, the manager regains his senses and pushes the thief away. In another scene, Lee and his partner are with the sergeant when they hear a loud crack below. The zombies have broken through the lower gate and are climbing toward them. Lee's friend tells the senior officers, "They're zombies. Get ready to shoot." The officers assume he's joking, but when the zombies actually break through, the gates close just in time. Lee's friend argues with the officers, "We're not kidding. Look at these clothes. This guy's a zombie." At that moment, the chef, the one who had helped them earlier, collapses, standing by a soldier. Lee's friend immediately shoots the chef to prevent him from transforming and attacking more people. The senior officers are furious, thinking an innocent civilian has been killed. Lee steps forward to explain. He was already turning. He bit the soldier. Look at his wounds. They see the soldier's condition is dire. In a makeshift medical effort, Sujong, the lady who had opened the door for Lee, assists the wounded soldier. Lee and his friend then plead with the officers. The situation is dire. Please let us call our families. This time, the officers relent, and everyone gets a phone. Lee sees message after message from Kang Young. She's trying to reach him, so he calls her back, but her phone is still out of service. He begins to worry. His friend consoles him. If she's still alive, she must be brave. Don't worry about her. Meanwhile, in the Kang Young's group, the famous actor Yang Young tells Kang, "I'm not from this city. I've been staying at a hotel here." That hotel turns out to be the same one where Lee and his soldiers are battling zombies on the roof. Yang pulls out a photo of Kang Young and Lee together. Kang lights up with delight. They laugh, but Kang then notices Lee's messages flooding her phone. "Stay safe wherever you are. Send me your location. I'll come get you." Kang dials Lee, but there's no signal. Kang tells Yang, "Lee's alive, and I'm going to find him." Yang says, "Wait, my car's not parked at my hotel. I'll go get it and come with you." As they step out, Kang Young trips and falls on the street because her shoelaces are untied, something Lee had taught her to fix. She blushes, recalling the memory. Meanwhile, Lee's fellow soldiers sit and eat, remarking, "Why did the chef turn into a zombie so quickly, but that other soldier took so long?" Lee's friend explains, "It was because of what he was drinking." Just then, they hear pounding at the door. A soldier runs to investigate, completely unaware of the horror outside, and a zombie bites him. Officers shoot at it, but it rises again. Finally, they manage to kill it, but at that moment, another soldier starts showing full-blown zombie symptoms. One of the soldiers throws scalding water on it and tries to beat it to death with a kettle while others shoot at it. None of their shots seem effective. Sujong grabs a gun from one of the officers and shoots the zombie in the head, putting it down. The officers recoil. "Who gave you that weapon? Civilians can't wield guns." Sujong replies, "I'm a national-level firearm champion. In these circumstances, I need to be armed too." In a flashback, we see Sujong and Lee were in the same college, where everyone admired Lee and often proposed to him. Lee's friend asked him, "What's so special about Kang that everyone chases her?" "I don't see anything extraordinary." Lee replied, "Well, don't I happen to be the hero of this campus?" They go on, unaware that Kang is right behind them, listening to everything. Enraged, Kang storms off. Back in the present, Lee is interviewing for a new job at an ice cream parlor. Afterward, his boss tells him, "Your senior trainee will teach you everything." To his embarrassment, this senior trainee turns out to be Kang Young, whom he thought he'd lost. Kang feigns annoyance, but eventually shows him how to do the job. While working side by side, they begin to pick up each other's habits again. One day, Kang's coworkers bring in identical gloves as gifts for everyone, but they didn't bring a pair for Lee. When asked, Kang lies. "Oh, the store ran out of gloves." In reality, she was saving something special for him, a scarf. Kang later gives the scarf to Lee, but he rudely refuses it twice, saying, "I don't want to be friends with you." Hurt and angry, Kang vents to her friend on the phone about how awful Lee is, completely unaware that Lee is standing right behind her, listening. The next day, they argue about it at work. Kang accuses Lee, "You insulted me first." Lee, recalling that day in college, replies, "Fine, one insult from you and one from me, and we're even." Time goes by like this, and Kang realizes she's falling in love with Lee again. Later, Kang gets into an argument with her manager and storms out, crying. Anxiety-stricken, Lee follows her, offering his jacket. Kong pushes it away and walks on. As she continues along, she stumbles again because her shoelaces are untied. This was the day Lee taught her how to tie them. Back in the present, Kong snaps back to reality, seeing a man in front of her with a zombie bite on his leg, vomiting. The man asks Kong, "Can you help me?" The manager with Kong immediately says, "No, we won't help him. He's been bitten by a zombie." But Kong, soft-hearted, agrees to help. As Young and Kong support him, many zombies appear behind them. Fleeing, they rush into a restaurant and tie the bitten man up, as he could turn at any moment. Even tied up, the man vomits. Young asks him how much he's had to drink. The man replies he's been drinking since morning. During their conversation, a zombie enters their kitchen. The tied-up, bitten man is right in front of it, but the zombie ignores him and attacks Kong instead. Luckily, Kong moves aside, and a shelf falls on the zombie, killing it. This zombie was a former police officer. Young takes an alcohol detector from its pocket and checks the bitten man, who has a very high alcohol level. Young then tells Kong and the manager that the man hasn't turned into a zombie yet because he's consumed so much alcohol, and that's why the other zombie ignored him. Young theorizes that alcohol might repel zombies and suggests they should also consume alcohol so zombies aren't attracted to them. Kong sits down, and Young brings her a drink. She tries calling Lee again, still unsuccessful. As she drinks, she drifts into the past. She remembers drinking at her dad's funeral, where Lee was taking care of everyone. After the funeral, Kong gave Lee her dad's lighter as a gift. Lee said he didn't smoke. Kong explained her dad didn't smoke either, but she had gifted him the lighter, so he always kept it. She wanted Lee to keep it always. At her insistence, Lee pretended to smoke with it, and Kong was overjoyed by this small gesture. Back in the present, morning has arrived. Lee tries to call Kong, but she doesn't answer. He starts to cry. Lee then takes out the lighter Kong gave him from his pocket. Inside, the remaining soldiers are watching the news, which details the zombie virus. It affects the human brain, turning people into zombies who then bite others, spreading the virus. The government has decided to implement a lockdown, urging everyone to stay home. While watching, a soldier speaks up. "Remember the soldier who was bitten by the chef yesterday? How long did it take him to turn?" But the other soldier and the chef turned into zombies in just a few minutes. He must have drunk something that delayed his zombification. He opens his locker, takes something out, and says, "He drank this in front of me." Everyone looks, but no one believes him. Just then, they hear gunshots from their senior's room. Rushing in, they find the senior has shot himself, realizing he was infected and about to turn. Cutting to Kang's group, they are completely drunk after a night of drinking. Sobering up slightly, Kong says, "Let's go to the hotel where Lee is." The bitten man, whose name is Kim, asks what they'll do there. Young explains that Kang's boyfriend, a soldier who can protect them, is there, and Young's American car is also there, which could be very useful. Kim is reluctant to go, but Kong stands up, grabs a golf stick, and heads out with Young. Outside, zombies immediately pursue Kong and Young, but not Kim, who was bitten the day before. To save them, Kim distracts the zombies by honking a car horn. As the zombies are distracted, Kong and Young slip into a shop. Outside, Kim starts burning the zombies. Drunk Kong and Young find this highly entertaining. The place they've entered also has many beer cans, and they start drinking again. When Kim comes inside after burning the zombies, Kong asks, "Can you do that again? It looks so cool, right?" Kim doesn't go back out, but a group of basketball players appears outside and starts fighting the zombies. We cut back to the soldiers. Lee and his friend want to go out and save their families, so they devise a plan and approach their senior. They point out that despite a power outage the previous day, their taps still have water, meaning the hotel's generators are running and using up resources. If resources run out, they argue, "What will we do? We should go down and turn them off." Before the sergeant can agree, the battalion commander calls with good news. They're sending all food supplies and resources via helicopter. All the soldiers are overjoyed, except Lee and his friend, who had planned to leave. Unfortunately, as they all go to the helipad to receive the helicopter, they notice it's flying erratically. They report this to the commander. The way it was shaking, landing was unsafe. It might even have a zombie on board, causing it to be out of control. The commander orders them to shoot down the helicopter. As it comes into range, a cannon fires, and the helicopter begins to fall. Kong and her companions, standing far away, witness this. All four of them start running towards the downed helicopter. Meanwhile, the sergeant receives a call from his battalion commander, who is furious about the helicopter's destruction. The sergeant tells him, "That's not the main issue now. The problem is we have no supplies. Give us orders to evacuate this building, or we'll die without food and water." But the commander still refuses permission to leave, saying he'll arrange something and tells them to stay put. Reluctantly, the sergeant agrees and hangs up. He then calls a meeting with the soldiers, deciding to make his own decision. He tells them, "We are leaving this building this evening. We have minimal food supplies." A soldier argues they can stay as long as the supplies last. The sergeant counters, "No. If we leave after supplies run out, we won't have the strength to fight." Susan, present in the meeting, again requests a gun. The sergeant replies, "I've told you many times, we can't give you a gun. You're a civilian." Outside the building, Kong, Young, the manager, and Kim have reached the tower. But upon seeing the hordes of zombies surrounding it, Kong breaks down sobbing, fearing Lee has fallen victim to them. Seeing her state, Young says, "I know Lee will call you. We should find a safe place and wait for him." They decide to head to the building's parking garage. Once there, Young suggests they split up to find his car, giving everyone its number. As they search, several zombies appear. Kong and the manager hide, but the zombies swarm Young and attack him. Kong is devastated and wants to rush to his aid, but the manager holds her back tightly, pulling her away. Kim, the new guy, tries to save Young, but a fire breaks out in the chaos, and all the zombies are killed, presumably along with Young. Upstairs, the soldiers hold another meeting, planning their escape. The sergeant outlines the plan. "First, we'll go to the VIP lounge and use the lift to go down." After planning, the soldiers set out. They find the stairwell covered in blood, and again, numerous zombies block their path. Using their guns, they fight their way through, mowing down zombies, and finally reach the VIP lounge. Down below, Kong is extremely upset about Young's death, as is Kim. The manager, however, doesn't seem as affected, for which Kim berates him. Regardless, they need a plan to survive. The manager tells Kim, "Go get Young's car." But Kim doesn't know how to drive. Kong and the manager can't go out because the zombies are attracted to them. Only Kim is ignored by the zombies. Reluctantly, Kong says, "You go to the car, give me your phone number. I'll guide you over the phone on how to drive." Kim agrees and goes to find the car. He casually pushes zombies aside as if they were normal people, and they don't react to him. He reaches the car and gets in. He calls Kong and the manager, who start teaching him to drive via mobile. Kim worries he's making noise, but no zombies approach him. However, the sound of Kong and the manager's voices attracts a large number of zombies to their hiding spot. Cutting back to the soldiers, the sergeant divides them into two-person teams to spread out. Lee and his friend go to a restroom and discover Wi-Fi signals. Overjoyed, Lee immediately calls Kong. Kong, who was busy teaching Kim to drive, quickly cuts his call and answers Lee's. After so long, they both start crying upon seeing each other. Lee thanks God for Kang's safety and asks where she is. Kong, in turn, asks his location. "I'm in your building. Tell me which floor you're on. I'll come there." Hearing this, Lee exclaims, "Are you crazy? How did you get here? This place is extremely dangerous. Kong, please go somewhere safe." Kong insists, "I'm very brave. Just tell me your floor number. I'll come and protect you too." Lee then lies, saying he's not in the building and tells her to go to a camp where soldiers will rescue her. He's still talking and crying when Kang's phone dies. Lee is devastated by the dropped call and breaks down. His friend reassures him, "Look, Lee, if she survived this long, it means she's very brave and can take care of herself. Don't worry about her." They all go upstairs, where the sergeant has found a chef who, by luck, hasn't turned into a zombie because he was asleep on sleeping pills. They have him cook food and begin to enjoy a meal. Suddenly, the sergeant hears a rattling sound from behind. When he checks, a zombie bursts out of an air conditioning unit and attacks him. Down in the parking garage, Kim has started the car but can't drive it forward because Kang's call was cut. Many zombies have now gathered around his car. To clear them, he hits the accelerator, knocking down all the zombies in his path, and reaches Kong and the manager. He's killed all the zombies near them with the car. Kong and the manager quickly get in. The manager takes the driver's seat and speeds out of the garage. There are many zombies outside too, but an even bigger problem arises. Kim, sitting in the back, his eyes are turning red. He's becoming a zombie. As soon as he realizes this, he gets out of the car. Cutting back to the hotel, the zombie has attacked the sergeant, and everyone can hear the commotion. Before they can react, the zombie, or part of it, lunges at them. Everyone shoots, but no one hits it accurately except Susan. After killing this zombie, they see the sergeant, now also a zombie, advancing towards them. The commander shoots him. The scene cuts back to Kong and her companions. Kong pleads with Kim, who got out of their car, "Don't go. Come with us to a hospital." But Kim replies, "No, I have some work to do here." With a heavy heart, the manager explains to Kong that Kim can't come with them, and they drive on. Behind them, Kim is shown finally transforming into a zombie. The The story concludes with a close-up of eerie, glowing red eyes. Whose they are remains a mystery. And with this mystery, the season ends, leaving questions about the extent of the zombies' destruction and how they will ever be stopped. Thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe for more such video. I'll see you in next video.